Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel that knows nothing. I'm Jam and let's get to it. So today we are diving on into the Addams Family book tag because I found this one a while ago and I thought it would be super fun to do around Halloween, but now we're just doing it now because I don't think I can wait that long until Halloween, you know. Anyway, let's jump on into it. So the first question in this book tag is Morticia Addams, and that is the mother and the witch of the family, and that is what is your favorite witch book? And I don't think I've really read that many that are like, this is a witch book. Like obviously there are books like Harry Potter which are in the wizarding world and there are witches and wizards, but I don't consider that very witch-like. And so instead I'm gonna go with the most recent witch book I've read or seems witchy, and that is Serpent and Dove, because it is just so different and it's a different take on witches, like something that I've never seen before or heard of before, and it was just really fun. It was kind of like weird, but then like it kept you really like wanting to come back to it every single time for more, and I'm like, this is very interesting. Also Enemies to Lovers, which I am a very big simp for. I love it. I can't get enough of it. Number 2 in this tag is Gomez, and that is The Loving Father, and that is pick your favorite father from a fictional book. And I think I've got to go with Alex's and Connor's dad from The Land of Stories. Yes, he is like he's dead, and he's not in it that much, but I think when we get stories about him and when Alex and Connor talk about him, I just feel like he is just so good to his kids. I think one of the moments where I think he was like really just an awesome person in general is that Alex was having a very hard time at school, and girls can be really cruel and mean, obviously, and he told her the story of the curly tree and how all the other trees got chopped down at the end, but the curly tree, which grew different, didn't get cut down because of the way it was, because it was different, and it's okay to be different, and I really liked it, and it was very sweet, and I cried a little bit maybe. Number 3 in this tag is Uncle Festa, and that he generates electricity, and what it is a book that makes you light up inside and you can't stop talking about it. And when I first read Perfect on Paper, I was very much like that because there was so many emotions in that book. I didn't expect to be going on that much of a emotional roller coaster. I think it's just heartbreakingly confusing and good, and like you're there rooting for the main character even though she's done things that aren't great, and you just really want everything to work out for her. At least that's how I felt when I was reading it. Like I just wanted everything to be okay in her world, and it's so hard being a teenager and growing up in high school where people are just terrible and mean, and she is a little bit like that in some aspects, and it's just like, oof, it's a journey. Number 4 in this tag is Wednesday Addams, who is obsessed with death, and that is, if you could kill off any character in a series, who would it be? It would be Drake from the Gone series. There, no hesitation, just yeet him off a cliff. And even then I don't think that would actually kill that guy. He's just so messed up, and he is also obsessed with killing people and death, and I think that's partly because he was that prior to the dome being put over everything, but then also I feel like him and his whip arm, that messed him up a lot too, so he's just amplified like what he was before. But yeah, he's got some heavy plot armor. So many times that boy should have died and he didn't. I want things to be set straight. He should not have heavy plot armor and he should have died. That sounds bad, but he annoying. If you read the series, you know what I'm talking about. You'll feel exactly how I feel. Number 5 in this tag is Pugsley Addams, and he has a pretty strange nature and he likes to play a lot of pranks on people. And the question is, who is your favorite villains? And it is a weird answer, but I've given it before in prior book tags, but I'm gonna go with it anyway. These the Lannisters from Game of Thrones. They're just like, and particularly Tywin Lannister, like I love that guy. He is really cool. He's like, you hate him. But like, it's just so well done. It's the same with Joffrey and with Cersei. Like, you hate them so much, but because it's so well written, it's just like, oof, this is really good villains. Like, really, like, you know, it takes a lot for an author to make you hate someone that doesn't even exist. Like, oh, yes. Number 6 in this tag is Lurch, and he is based on Frankenstein and a zombie. So what is your favorite adaptation of a story? And I feel like I've got to go with Maze Runner on this, because I last year read them all again and I was sorely disappointed in what they were. Like, Maze Runner, pretty good. The other two, what the hell was happening in them? I feel like they did such a good job of the stories being transferred into movies for it actually to be a good story and for it to make a lot more sense. I'm glad they got rid of the mind games that Teresa and Thomas had between themselves, and I just feel like it's a much better movie franchise than it ever was a book franchise. Like, it's an interesting premise in the books, but like, it gets to the point where it's just like, okay, what is actually the point of all of this? What's going on? Don't know. Number 7 in this tag, which is the last question in this tag, is Grandma, and she is an old classic witch, and that is, what is your favorite old classic horror book? I don't really have one. I don't read horror. I don't like it, and I don't enjoy being scared. But I guess the closest thing that I've read to that is probably Frankenstein, which angered me so much. Like, it's a hard thing to do, to make you side with nobody in that. Like, you don't side with Frankenstein because he's just dumb and weird, and then you kind of want to have sympathy for the monster because it's abandoned, but then also later on in the book he's very hard to sympathize with, and neither one of them are in the right. They're both in the wrong. It's a morally gray area, and you're standing on the fence and you don't know which side to fall to. It's just impossible. Anyway, that's how I feel about that book. I'm sure I've spoken about it before on this channel, probably. Anyway, guys, that's all I've got for you today. Please like, subscribe, because that is always nice, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.